Get some. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Mike Glover Actual, our first episode of Combat Reacts. Look, there's a whole bunch of Reacts videos that are the most popular videos on YouTube. I love them. My only problem with Reacts videos overall is the lack of expertise in the narration of the actual video. So it doesn't mean you have to be an expert, because a lot of crap is entertaining on YouTube. I certainly do it. I fall for it. I'm addicted to YouTube. But I love guys all over the internet that are doing these kind of videos. But I wanted to give you a little bit of perspective. I'm a special operations guy by trade. I grew up in the military, 4 years in the infantry, the rest of my career, a 20-year career in special operations, as well as a stint as a Central Intelligence Agency GRS guy. So if you saw the movie 13 Hours in Benghazi, I was kind of one of those. I was actually one of those guys. Know a lot of those guys, just not as high speed as 13 Hours in Benghazi, by the way. Certainly not as high speed, like not even close to that. But what I wanted to do is offer some of my input and expertise in some of the combat footage, historical reference combat footage, like old stuff, to the modern GWAT stuff. I don't know. Maybe it's interesting. Maybe you care. Maybe you don't. I don't know. If you're interested, make sure you subscribe if you don't subscribe, and hit that notification bell thingamajiggy so you guys could get tuned in, because I'm doubling down. I'm going all in. This is going to be a banger. Can I say that? Is that appropriate to say on the internets, the interwebs? All right, guys. So here we have a gunfight in Afghanistan. Big shout out to Funker 530 for providing this content. But helmet cam footage off of the SAW gunner's helmet cam, and you just saw this dude's getting some. He's suppressing the enemy, and we'll talk about it. I missed them days. Missed them days. All right, so for all you non-SAW gunners out there, look, that SAW is a squad automatic weapon, 5.56. Not the most accurate gun because of the terminal and external ballistics of the round, the 5.56 by 45 millimeter projectile. The big thing about that gun is it's the squad automatic weapon. It's the most casualty producing weapon for that squad. A few dudes who are against the wall, that's going to be the guy. The 5.56 gun that's next to him, that M4, ain't doing much in the rural, austere environment of Afghanistan. Why do I know this? Because I've been in gunfights in Afghanistan, and I can tell you, having that 5.56 gun where you look at it and you're like, dang it, I wish I had that AK-47. But this is a little bit different because you're not allowed. I mean, it's not allowable. It's just something you're going to do. You could almost use it, I hate to say it, but you could use it as an indirect firing weapon system. I mean, you could elevate the barrel, you could see the rounds landing on the objective or the target, and you can get to work. This gun right here is 17 pounds and loaded, about 22 to 25 pounds depending on the amount of accessories you're rolling with. And this dude, he's rolling with some accessories. He's got a M68, which is the aim point issued, we call it the CCO. I believe this is the M68 era aim point optic, as well as a PAC-15, looks like a PAC-15 side mounted on the rail. It's not like the SOP mod version that I had, which is the special operation version. I was a SAW gunner in the infantry, and in special operations in Afghanistan, on an operational detachment and A team, I carried this gun. It was one of my favorite guns. What he's doing is suppressing the bad guys. He's looking to keep the bad guys' heads down pinned to buy time for a specific tactic that these guys are going to do, known as a battle drill. Or he's also doing that to get them to get up and start bugging out. We call this squirting. Yes, squirting. You want to hit squirters because they're going to squirt and open themselves up to being exposed to your bullets, which is a good thing for good guys. Little lull and fire, kind of getting his bearing, moving it left and right.
I'm reloading.
All right, he's reloading. Good tactic to say you're reloading. In my teams, I would specifically say, hey, if I'm not shooting, I'm likely reloading, but it's also good to advertise that depending on your positioning, because some people can't hear you, and if you're not shooting, the assumption is you're on the wall providing protection. But if you're reloading with a SAW, you're off the wall reloading. You're not going to stand on the top of the wall and like open the feed tray and start jamming in your ammo. This is pretty cool here because you could see him loading with gloves. Smart. A 249 squad automatic weapon made by FN in South Carolina. It's a Fabrique Nationale gun. This machine gun gets super hot, especially with a shorter barrel, and he would burn the crap out of his hands. He has a heat shield in front of this feed tray that's open now, but what you can see is he's running what appears to be a 200-round drum. That could be a 150 sack. It comes stock with a plastic drum of 200 rounds that we often cross-load into softer sacks to be able to, not have this piece of plastic crap that's going to fail. Most often, these plastic drums fail. You could run it in a 100-round sack, or you could run it in a 150 or even 500-rounder, depending on your setup. He also has a mil-spec tube on the back end of it that has a telescoping stock that can go up and down, which is cool. It's a good setup. I don't think he's running a sling on this setup, but no harm, no foul.
I think I'm further down. Yeah. Where's it at?
You see how I charged it right there? Good tactic, obviously, because if he got back on the wall and then charged it, bad tactic. He needs to get ready to be in the fight. The gun is likely on safe right now. A squad automatic weapon gunner is going to know these technical pieces. What he just did was he pulled the bolt to the rear, which is locking it to the rear because it fires from the open bolt position, and then he's pushing the charging handle forward to lock it in its place. He's not riding the bolt forward because the bolt's already locked to the rear. Again, firing from an open bolt position means the bolt's to the rear, the bolt slam fires basically the round into the barrel, and that's how it works.
Hey! Yeah. I'm pushing down that way. Pull it down.
Man, working through these issues, these guys are doing good, effective communication for a small unit squad of infantry. He certainly has an unobstructed view.
I think they're shooting. To the right, Fish. To the right?
Ooh, I like that tactic. So what he's doing right there is he has kind of like a forward observer. It's likely another element that might be potentially high or a little further out that's got different angles. What they're doing there is talking him on, to the right. That might seem insignificant and even not really squared away. If you're in a forward observation position where you could see the bad guys and he could reorient his rounds and they could see the impact where he can't see dick right now. I mean, right now he's staring at a plume of smoke. That's going to be impactful of putting rounds on target, and that's how FOs work. Everybody in your squad and your elements an acting forward observer, by the way. Flaggy McFlaggerton, you guys probably picked that up. Look, the Sergeant Major in me sees that and goes, that's a no-go. In combat, it's easy to judge, even me sitting here in this comfortable position, watching this video. Under fire, when you're looking at priorities, like getting the gun back in the fight or getting off the wall because you don't want to get shot in the head, things change a little bit. So I'm not quick to judge that. I don't like seeing it because I don't want guys to make mistakes. If he's technically proficient, he should be driving the barrel of that down with the barrel oriented down range where the bad guys are, but then driving it down and not pointing the barrel of the gun at his good guy, at his buddy. But again, this is a heavy machine gun. They're in a gunfight. I'll give him a little space for that.
Which one?
He flagged him again. Yeah, I don't like that.
There you go. What the fuck?
WTF. WTF, 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 get some. Look, guys get emotional when you're in a gunfight. You're spiking all these sympathetic nervous responses. It's difficult to be in a gunfight and being technically proficient and keeping your head switched on. What I always equate this to is like if you're driving a car, let's say you're doing a rally and you want to be really good. If you get emotional, you're going to be really bad, right? So if he says WTF and he gets up off the wall and he's shooting, yeah, he's using emotion kind of to drive that gun into the fight, but is he going to be very technically proficient and conscious to what's going on? Probably not so much. Why did he do WTF? Why did he shoot the gun like that? Well, he was getting shot at. I mean, what you heard was snaps and cracks. When you're on the receiving side of bad guys' guns, you're going to hear the snap and crack, which is the breaking of the sound barrier by the bullet traveling, hopefully, over your head. That's what you guys heard in the video. Who heard the snap and crack, reoriented his gun, and got it on. What I'll say lastly is these guns, these are 5.56 by 45 millimeter guns. These guns are shooting, like this is on cyclic, 800 to 1,000 rounds a minute. You can get it out without, I mean, you're going to burn the barrel out. But we're talking about accuracy with a 5.56 round. We're looking at about 550 meters. That's the point Army answer. This gun, a little bit further out, you're looking at the area targets about 800 meters. I don't know the distance to their target, but the dudes with the M4s, kind of wasting ammo because this is going to be the gun that needs to be in the fight. They can conserve their ammo while they consolidate their efforts and decide what they want to do. What I don't like seeing, because I've literally been in this same circumstance in Afghanistan. Taliban have they have good tactics to draw in good guys. What they'll do is they'll shoot, draw in an entire unit of infantry guys, make them waste a lot of time and ammo while they're flanking, maneuvering, breaking contact. Ugh. When I see infantry guys get sucked into the gunfight and you hear like crack, crack, or snap and crack, I'm like, ugh, I don't like that. I want them to conserve ammo, let the dust settle and lull, pinpoint where the shithead's at, and then get it on. Guys, Combat Reacts. I don't know how you guys enjoy this. This is kind of an experimental thing for me. I like talking about this because I teach this for a living. My company, Fieldcraft Survival, certainly does that. Below, I have links to training, specific training, including my carbine course that I teach. I'm not going to monetize on any of these things. I don't intend to do that. But what I want to do is provide you value in my perspective, kind of highlights of kind of what we do, whether it's mindset, neurology, or the actual experience. That's what we're bringing to you here on Combat Reacts. Until next time, peace out.